Think of an area in your life where you feel like your boundaries are more often than not overstepped or crossed. So once you identify that, the next step or the next question for you to think about is, in that area of life, do you even know what your values are? Have you ever sat down, written a list to see what you value in that area of your life? Because people overstepping or the things in your environment that are crossing your boundaries, maybe because of more than one reason. One, are you aware of what your boundaries even are? Right? So if not, I would encourage you to take a moment, sit down, think about that area of your life where you feel like boundaries are typically crossed. And I want you to write down a list. Write down a list of the values, for example, let's say in career or relationships. And once you have that list, I want you to order them from the most to least important. Now, here is where you get to do some self-digging. Look at that list and ask yourself, every decision that I make, is it aligned with these values here? If not, that could be one important aha moment, right? To live more consciously and purposefully in only doing things that align with your values. 2, so now that you're aware of your values, here is a suggestion and a recommendation for how to deal with or prevent from the environment or things in your environment from triggering or overstepping your boundaries. One is communication, which seems really obvious, right? Imagine this metaphor. You have a room, and in that room, on different pedestals, are each of your different values for this area of your life. Now, imagine everything in your environment, people, for example, in whatever area of life this is for you. Imagine putting these people in that room where your values are. But the room is dark, and these people have a blindfold on. Now, at some point, someone is going to bump into these values, which means you're going to knock it over, they're going to trigger you. The lesson here is communication ahead of time. We cannot blame our environment for when our boundaries are crossed if we have not communicated it to our environment. If you do get triggered, you never want to resolve the issue when your negative emotions are at an all-time high. And it seems like an obvious one, but what do most of us do, right? We have the impulse in the moment to just say words out of, feeling disrespected in the moment. But take some time, take a few deep breaths, remove yourself from that conversation, that environment, go for a walk, look up at the sky, look up at the ceiling for a moment. Wait a few days if you have to for the negative emotions to settle down so that you can have a calm conversation. My encouragement to you is to go back and try those exercises. And then just notice if there's any correlation between your values and the areas of life where you feel like your boundaries are typically overstepped. Because if it's one, because you're not aware of what your values are in that area of life, or 2, you're not acting in accordance or enforcing those boundaries or even communicating those boundaries when they are crossed. Hopefully this helps, and have a good day.